Nomad Podcast.
Wow, that's an honor. Thank you for doing this. So, Mr. Saylor, when did you buy your first Bitcoin, and how did you get into Bitcoin? And why do you say that we need Bitcoin now? Why now?
Well, I first got seriously interested in Bitcoin in 2020 during the COVID
Mm.
pandemic and the lockdowns. Why was I interested? Because the world came to a grinding halt, because interest rates went to zero, and my company had a bunch of cash that was deemed to be a liability. And I saw the world coming to a grinding halt. I saw capital, shutting down. It shook my faith in a lot of institutions. And I realized that my company needed to find another path forward if we were going to survive. And so that got me thinking about everything I knew about money and investment. And I realized that the company needed a different treasury strategy. And so we discovered Bitcoin, and it was in the summer of 2020 that we first started buying a lot of Bitcoin.
That's cool. So as a Bitcoin veteran, I would say, I mean, you're the biggest guy probably in the space right now. Is that correct? Or
We're the largest public holder of Bitcoin in the
okay.
world.
So, what would you see and say is a future risk for Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin adoption globally? Is it wars? Is it the politicians? Is it the regulations, KYC, and all that crap? What's the biggest and future
I
risk?
think that Bitcoin, it thrives on chaos. So the more chaos there is, the better it is for Bitcoin. Generally, everything in the world is good for Bitcoin. Time is good for Bitcoin. It's spreading. Technology is good for Bitcoin. Macroeconomic chaos and inflation is good for Bitcoin. The biggest risk for Bitcoin is that the Bitcoiners themselves probably get arrogant
Hmm.
and indulgent. All empires collapse from within because of the corruption of the ruling class after they win. And so Bitcoin right now is going to continue to grow, and and at the point that Bitcoin becomes half of all the capital in the world, probably the people that were in the Bitcoin space will start to think that they're smarter than
Yeah.
all the humans that came
Yeah.
before them.
Yeah.
Just like the people that ran Rome thought they were smarter than the Greeks, and the Greeks thought they were smarter than the Persians, and the Venetians thought they were smarter, and the Brits thought they were smarter, and the Americans thought they were smarter. And so ultimately, the danger is always corruption after success.
And also being greedy, probably. If you were greedy, maybe.
Yeah, and that's why I just counsel everyone to keep your laser eyes on, stay focused, stay humble,
Stack sats.
stack sats.
So my last question then for you, it's gonna be a quick one. You always say Bitcoin is for everyone, but I always ask myself, is it truly for everyone, or is it just for those who understand it and are willing to accept it?
Well, everybody needs Bitcoin. Everybody would benefit from virtuous, economically sound, ethically sound, and technically sound capital.
Hmm.
And that's what Bitcoin represents. So those that understand it will embrace it. The world's full of people that don't understand it. They still need it.
They still, yeah.
They just don't know they need it. So I would say Bitcoin is for everyone that understands it now, and it's for everyone that doesn't understand it when they finally come around to understanding and appreciating it.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That was it for me. So
Yeah, my
cool.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Nomad Podcast.